Senator Kavindu Agnes will be seeking a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing regarding the interventions aimed at protecting road infrastructure within Syokimau area in Machakos County.
Proceed with the afternoon's business. Clerk, you may proceed to call the first order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Now, honorable senators, I take this opportunity to welcome you back from the recess. In accordance with the calendar of the Senate for the regular sittings, Part 5 begins today, Tuesday, the 23rd of September 2025, and will conclude at the rise of the Senate on the 9th of October 2025. Now, honorable senators, the past recess saw the Senate participate in the biannual Devolution Conference, which took place from the 12th to the 15th of August 2025 in Homa Bay County. The Devolution Conference brought together local and international delegates to learn and share best practices on the pertinent issues affecting the devolved system of government in Kenya. The event culminated in the signing of a communique which outlined actions that require to be taken with a view to ensuring the success of devolution. I take this opportunity to thank honorable senators for turning up and participating in this event. I also take this opportunity to urge the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations to interrogate the communique from the Devolution Conference and to develop the necessary legislative interventions to actualize them. By doing so, the Senate and Parliament at large will essentially be walking the talk. Now, honorable senators, looking at what portends for the coming days, Part 5 of the fourth session is certainly said to be a highlight of this session. As senators recall, on 29th of July 2025, the Senate resolved to hold its plenary and committee sittings in Busia County. The sittings will take place from the 6th to the 10th of October 2025 in line with the resolution passed at the Busia County Assembly premises. Preparations are now at an advanced stage to ensure that the sittings are a success. More information regarding the Busia sittings will be communicated through the office of the clerk. In addition, let us remain mindful of our in-tray, for it is rather full. A number of bills, motions, petitions, and statements are pending consideration. It is my hope that committees took time during the recess to dispense with the business pending before them. The Senate is looking forward to the tabling of the reports on the activities of the committees and reports thereon. On this matter of the Senate legislative agenda, I urge that all honorable senators redouble their individual and collective effort in a bid to process the business with the urgency it deserves. I also urge the Senate Majority Leader and the Senate Minority Leader to do all that is necessary within the standing orders so that the business is fast-tracked. Honorable senators, in conclusion, my office remains at your disposal to assist you in discharging your constitutional responsibilities. I will continue to support each senator individually and in the committees that you serve to be able to achieve what we have set out during this term of Parliament. I thank you. Now, honorable senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, a visiting delegation of 4 officers from the Committee Reporting Office, CRO, or the Parliament of Ghana. The delegation is on a benchmarking engagement to share knowledge on the best practices with their counterparts at the Senate. Now, honorable senators, I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that they may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. Ms. Theresa Boasiako Korang, Mrs. Etonam Bamfko, Mr. Paul Salom Agbu, Mr. Ebenezer Arthur. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome and wish you a fruitful visit at the Senate. I will call upon the Senate Majority Leader to pass a word of welcome to the delegation.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. On behalf of my colleagues here in the House, I join you in welcoming this delegation from the Parliament of Ghana, a very respected member of the Commonwealth Parliaments, Mr. Speaker, that we exchange a lot of knowledge. Many times our staff also visit their country in search of good knowledge like they have done this time round. I do believe that during their stay, Mr. Speaker, they'll enjoy the Kenyan hospitality, get to learn, interact with our very competent staff, Mr. Speaker, and members as well. I want to believe that part of their visit includes work that is done in our committees where they'll meet some of these members that are in the House this afternoon. Given that these are our African colleagues and people from a friendly country, a country that we share common history and heritage, Mr. Speaker, I do hope that they'll stay long enough to meet as many members of this House as they can. I welcome them to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3, I received a message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the approval by the National Assembly of a nominee for appointment to the Board of Central Bank of Kenya. The message, dated Wednesday, 20th of August 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Monday, 25th of August 2025, while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently transmitted to every senator in accordance with Standing Order 46.5. Now, pursuant to the said standing order, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas in exercise of the powers conferred by the provisions of Section 11.2 of the Central Bank of Kenya Act, Cap 491, His Excellency the President nominated Mr. Pius Angasa for appointment as a member of the Board of Directors of Central Bank of Kenya and sought parliamentary approval of the nominee. And whereas on the 7th of August 2025, the Senate considered the report of the Joint Committee of the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and the Senate Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as a board member of the Central Bank of Kenya, and by resolution approved the appointment of Mr. Pius Angasa as a member of the Board of Central Bank of Kenya. Further, whereas by resolution passed on 12th of August 2025, the National Assembly also considered the joint report and approved the appointment of Mr. Pius Angasa as a member of the Board of Central Bank of Kenya, Now, therefore, in accordance to the provisions of Standing Order 41-1 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision, the decision of the National Assembly to the Senate, and further notify that I have since transmitted the bicameral decision of the House to the appointing authority. Honorable Senators, I also wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46-3, I received a message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the approval by the National Assembly of the Senate Amendment to the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 40 of 2022. The message, dated Thursday, 14th of August 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Monday, 25th August 2025, while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently transmitted to every senator in accordance with Standing Order 46-5. Pursuant to the said standing order, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41-1 and 148 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas on Wednesday, 20th of March 2024, the National Assembly passed the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 40 of 2022, with amendments, and thereafter referred the bill to the Senate for consideration in accordance with the provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution. And whereas on Tuesday, 15th of August 2025, the Senate considered and passed the said bill with an amendment and referred it back to the National Assembly for reconsideration in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution. Further, whereas on Thursday, 14th of August 2025, the National Assembly considered and passed the Senate amendment to the said bill in the form passed by the Senate. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(2)(a) of the Constitution and Standing Orders 41-1 and 148 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate. Now, Honorable Senators, the Speaker of the National Assembly, pursuant to the provisions of Article 112(2)(a) of the Constitution, is processing the bill for assent by His Excellency the President. Further, I wish to report to the Senate that I have, pursuant to Standing Order 46-3 and 46-5 of the Senate, received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the decision of the National Assembly on the Senate amendments to the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023. The message, dated Tuesday, 26th of August 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Wednesday, 27th of August 2025, while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently transmitted to every senator in accordance with Standing Order 46-5 via letter dated the 29th of August 2025. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 46-4, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41-1 and 148(b) of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas on Tuesday, 4th of June 2024, the National Assembly passed the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023, and thereafter referred the bill to the Senate for consideration in accordance with Article 110(4) of the Constitution. And whereas on Tuesday, 15th of April 2025, the Senate considered and passed the said bill with amendments and referred it back to the National Assembly in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution. Further, whereas on Thursday, 24th of July 2025, the National Assembly negatived the motion on the consideration of the Senate amendments to the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023, thereby remitting it to a mediation committee in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(2)(b) of the Constitution. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112 of the Constitution and Standing Orders 41-1 and 148(b) of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the decision of the National Assembly to the Senate and seek the appointment of 9 senators to a mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. Now, Honorable Senators, consequent to the said decision, the Speaker of the National Assembly appointed the following members of the National Assembly to the mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. the Honorable Peter Lochakapong, the Honorable Mary Emase, the Honorable Pamela Njoki, the Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga, the Honorable Kenneth Kazungu, the Honorable Umul Kher Kasim, the Honorable Anthony Aluoch, the Honorable Catherine Omayo, and the Honorable Joyce Bensouda. Honorable Senators, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 166-2 of the Senate, and in consultation with the Senate Majority Leader and the Senate Minority Leader, I will at an appropriate time appoint senators to the Mediation Committee. Further, Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46-3 of the Senate Standing Orders, I received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the passage by the National Assembly of the Meteorology Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of 2023. The message, dated Tuesday, the 9th of August 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on 25th of August 2025 while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently transmitted to every senator in accordance with Standing Order 46-5. Now, pursuant to the said standing order, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41-1 and 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas the Meteorology Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of 2023, was passed by the Senate on Tuesday, 19th of November 2024, with amendments, and referred to the National Assembly for consideration pursuant to provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution. And whereas the National Assembly considered the said bill and passed it on Wednesday, 13th August 2025, with amendments, as contained in the schedule of the amendments attached herewith, now therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution and Standing Order 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly. Honorable Senators, Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution provides that if one House passes an ordinary bill concerning counties and the second House passes the bill in an amended form, it shall be referred back in the originating House for reconsideration. Now, Honorable Senators, in this regard, I direct the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources to deliberate on the National Assembly amendments and report to the Senate. Further, pursuant to Standing Order 165-1 of the Senate Standing Orders, I direct that the National Assembly amendments to the Meteorology Bill, Senate Bill number 45 of 2023, be circulated to all senators. At an appointed time, the Senate Business Committee will schedule the consideration of the amendments. The House is accordingly guided. Lastly, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46(3) and 5 of the Senate Standing Orders, I received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the passage by the National Assembly of the Election Offences Amendment number 2 Bill, Senate Bill number 28 of 2024. The message, dated Tuesday, 19th of August 2025, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on 25th of August 2025 while the Senate was on recess. It was subsequently transmitted to every senator in accordance with Standing Order 46-5. Now, pursuant to the said standing order, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41-1 and 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas the Election Offences Amendment number 2 Bill, Senate Bills number 28 of 2024, was passed by the Senate on Tuesday, 19th of November 2024, and thereafter referred to the National Assembly for consideration pursuant to the provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution, and whereas the National Assembly considered the said bill and passed it with amendments on Thursday, 14th of August 2025, as contained in the schedule of amendments attached herewith. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution and Standing Orders 41, 1, and 144 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate. Now, Honorable Senators, Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution provides that if one House passes an ordinary bill concerning counties and the second house passes the bill in an amended form, it shall be referred back to the originating house for reconsideration. Honorable Senators, in this regard, I direct the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights to deliberate on the National Assembly amendments and report to the Senate. Further, pursuant to Standing Order 165.1 of the Senate Standing Orders, I direct that the National Assembly amendments to the Election Offences Amendment Number 2 Bill, Senate Bill Number 28 of 2024, be circulated to all honorable senators. At an appointed time, the Senate Business Committee will schedule the consideration of these amendments. The House is accordingly guided. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Kindly take your seats. Senator Ledama and Minority Leader, kindly take your seats. Now, honorable senators, pursuant to Standing Order 232.1a, I hereby present a petition by Honorable Isayan Maina concerning amendments of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2017. As you are aware, Article 37 and 119(1) of the Constitution provide that every person has the right, peacefully and unarmed, to assemble, to demonstrate, to picket, and to present petitions to public authorities, and further, that every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within the authority, including to enact, amend, or repeal any legislation. The salient issues raised in this petition are as follows. A, that the petitioner, Honorable Isayan Maina, is a member of the County Assembly of Nandi, representing Lesos Ward, seeking the intervention of the Senate to amend the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 to better align the functioning of the county governments with the objects and principles of devolution as set out in the Constitution, specifically Articles 10, 174, 175, 179, 183, and 232, among others. Thus, Section 32E of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 empowers the governor to constitute a county executive committee portfolio structure, while Section 46 of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 grants the county executive committee CEC authority to determine the organization of the county and its departments. This creates ambiguity regarding the respective roles of the governor and the CEC in the county administrative structure. The petitioner requests for an amendment to Section 32E and 46 of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 to clarify the term organization of the county, or alternatively replace Section 32E of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 with a provision establishing a uniform organizational structure for counties. Thus, Section 32(1) of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 provides that the governor shall assign and cause to be published in the County Gazette notice of all important formal decisions by the governor or by the county executive. However, the Act lacks a clear definition of what constitutes important formal decisions. The petitioner requests for an amendment to Section 32(1) to include a definition for important formal decisions, set timelines for gazettement, require immutable timestamps, include county expenditure and electronic funds transfer EFT reports as formal decisions, and provide sanction for non-compliance. Thus, Section 33A of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 holds the county governor accountable for managing county resources, but does not explicitly require accountability to county assembly, contrary to Article 183(3) of the Constitution. The petitioner requests for an amendment to Section 33A of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 to establish a clear accountability mechanisms requiring the governor to be accountable to the county assembly. that pursuant to Section 31A of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012, a governor can dismiss CEC members without checks, undermining collective executive responsibility. The petitioner requests for an amendment to the section to require consultation and concurrence for at least 50% of the county assembly present and voting before dismissal of a CC member. That pursuant to Section 32(3) of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012, the governor may assign the deputy governor executive portfolios. This risks reducing the deputy governor to an ordinary CC member. The petitioner requests that Section 32(3) of the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 be amended to expressly exempt the DG from approval and removal processes intended for CEC members. That the appointment process for CEC members, as envisioned under Section 35 of the County Governments Act, lacks transparency and consistency in the sourcing, shortlisting, and nomination process. The petitioner requests for an amendment to Section 35 of the Act to include a clear, merit-based process for sourcing, shortlisting, nomination, and appointment of CC members. Section 45 lacks clarity on the qualifications for county chief officers and does not provide for the reassignment and removal procedures. The petitioner therefore requests for an amendment indicating the specification of required competencies and a well-defined removal framework. Thus, Section 58 and 58A of the County Governments Act are vague regarding timelines for filling vacancies in the County Public Service Board, minimum quorum for legal operation, and the representation of minorities and marginalized groups. The petitioner therefore requests amendments to impose a 14-day deadline for filling vacancies, require a minimum of 3 members for board's operations, and ensure inclusive representation. Additionally, governors often make acting appointments without county assembly approval, contrary to Article 259(11) of the Constitution. The petitioner therefore requests the introduction of a new section mandating compliance with approval procedures and that violation thereof be grounds for removal of a governor. There lack clear leave procedures for governors, deputy governors, and CC members. The term absence under Section 2 of the Act is undefined, creating governance risks. The petitioner requests an amendment to define absence and special circumstances, establish formal leave duration of 20 to 30 days annually, and provide for proper handover procedures during such leave. Consequently, the petitioner prays that the Senate intervenes by way of amending the County Governments Act number 17 of 2012 in line with the proposals stated above. Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 238-1, I commit the petition to the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights for consideration. Now, in terms of Standing Order 238-2A, the committee is required in not more than 60 calendar days from time of reading the prayer to table its report in the Senate for consideration. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Senate Majority Leader.
I beg to lay the following papers on the table of this Senate today, the 23rd of September, 2025. 1, Mr. Speaker, the county government's equitable share cash disbursement schedule for financial year 2025-26. 2, report of the National Treasury and Economic Planning on the Credit Guarantee Scheme Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises annual performance for the period 1st July to 24th and 30th June 2025. 3, report of the Auditor General on the consolidated special audit on payroll management for the 47 county executives. 4, report of the Controller of Budget on the national government's budget implementation review for the first 9 months of the financial year 2024-2025. 5, report of the Controller of Budget on the national government budget implementation review for the financial year 2024-2025. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Hezena.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, the 23rd of September 2025. Report of the consultative meeting of the Executive Committee of the Forum of Parliaments of the Member States of the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region, FPICGLR, held in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo from the 22nd to 24th of January 2025, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 23rd September 2025. Senator Hezena Lemaletian. Thank you.
Senator Lominan, take your seat. Honorable Senators, I have this communication to make. As you will note, the Senate Majority Leader has laid on the table of the Senate this afternoon a report from the National Treasury and Economic Planning on the Credit Guarantees Scheme for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Annual Performance Report for the period between 1st of July 2024 to 30th of June 2025. The report contains credit guarantees issued to MSMEs for the stated period. Now, Section 59A of the Public Finance Management Act states as follows, that the Cabinet Secretary shall prepare a statement of the credit guarantees guaranteed under Section 58(5) and a summary thereon in such detail as the Cabinet Secretary may determine. The Cabinet Secretary shall, at least once in every year, submit to Parliament the summary prepared under subsection 1 together with a report of the following. A, the total value of credit guarantees given during the period, the total value of credit guarantees liquidated during the period, the total value of outstanding credit guarantees on the date of the report, the risk assessment of the credit guarantees or classes of guarantees, information on the total value of credit guarantees, disaggregated into the number of enterprises owned by women, youth, and persons with disabilities which have been guaranteed, information on the total value of credit guarantees, disaggregated into the number of micro, small, and medium enterprises guaranteed by the respective regions, and any other relevant information prescribed by regulations for the purpose of this section. Now, Honorable Senators, given the significance of the credit guarantee scheme for micro, small, and medium enterprises in promoting access to affordable financing for entrepreneurs, I hereby commit the report by the National Treasury and Economic Planning Annual Performance Report for the period between 1st of July 2024 to 30th June 2025 to the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget for consideration. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Senator Hezena.
This is a notice of motion on the report of the consultative meeting of the Executive Committee of the Forum of Parliaments of the Member States of the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region, FPICGLR, held in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo from the 22nd to the 24th of January 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that the Senate notes the report of the consultative meeting of the Executive Committee of the Forum of Parliaments of the Member States of the International Conference on the Great Lakes Region, FPICGLR, held in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo, from the 22nd to the 24th of January 2025, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 23rd September 2025. Senator Ezena Lemaletian. Thank you.
Now, the notice of motion by Senator Veronica Maina is deferred. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 52-1. Nominated Senator Kwabubi Consolata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement on a matter of national pride and general topical concern, namely Kenya's extraordinary achievements at two of the most prestigious international sporting events, the 2025 Berlin Marathon and the 28th edition of the World Athletics Championships held in Tokyo, Japan. Mr. Speaker, sir, on Sunday, 21st September 2025, Kenya stamped its authority on the global athletics stage with a historic double victory at the Berlin Marathon. Sebastian Sawe, aged 30, delivered a commanding solo run, crossing the finish line in a phenomenal time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, 16 seconds, his third consecutive marathon win after triumphs in Valencia and London. Though he narrowly missed the world record, his performance was the fastest marathon time recorded globally this year. Equally inspiring was Rosemary Wanjiru's performance in the women's elite race. She broke away from a formidable Ethiopian contingent with 15 kilometers to go and held on with sheer grit to win in 2 hours, 21 minutes, 5 seconds, just 3 seconds ahead of Dera Dida. Her unfortunate collapse at the finish line and absence from the victory ceremony due to the fact that she was receiving medical attention underscores the physical and emotional toll of such elite competitions and the courage it takes to triumph. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the same day, the World Athletics Championships concluded in Tokyo, marking its 28th edition at the Japan National Stadium. Kenya emerged as a global powerhouse, finishing second overall in the medal standings with 7 golds, 2 silvers, and 2 bronzes. Our athletes demonstrated not only elite performance, but also the indomitable Kenyan spirit. Mr. Speaker, allow me to highlight our 7 golden victories. Number 1, Beatrice Chebet claimed a historic double winning gold in both the 10,000 meters and 5,000 meters, showcasing unmatched endurance and tactical brilliance. Number 2, Faith Kipyegon, our middle distance queen, secured gold in the 1500 meters, adding to her growing legacy as one of the greatest of all time. Number 3, Lilian Odira stunned the world with her gold in the 800 meters, clocking a championship record of 1 hour, 54 minutes, 62 seconds in one of the deepest fields in history. Number 4, Faith Cherotich triumphed in the 3,000 meters steeplechase, continuing Kenya's dominance in the event with a commanding run. Number 5, Peres Jepchirchir won the women's marathon, outpacing Ethiopia's Tigist Asefa in a dramatic finish. Number 6, Emmanuel Wanyonyi delivered Kenya's only men's gold in Tokyo, winning the 800 meters in a championship record time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, 86 seconds, a performance hailed as one of the fastest in history. Mr. Speaker, sir, these victories are not merely athletic milestones, they are national triumphs. They reflect the resilience, discipline, and excellence that define the Kenyan spirit. Our athletes continue to be our greatest ambassadors, lifting our flag high and inspiring generations across the globe. On my behalf and the Senate and the people of Kenya, I extend heartfelt congratulations to Sebastian Sawe, Rosemary Wanjiru, Beatrice Chebet, Faith Kipyegon, Lilian Odira, Faith Cherotich, Peres Jepchirchir, Emmanuel Wanyonyi, and all our champions. I also urge the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage to ensure that our athletes receive the recognition, support, and welfare they deserve, both during their active careers and in retirement. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I deliver my maiden statement in the Senate today, I do so with humility, a deep sense of responsibility, and a firm commitment to serve the people of Kenya with integrity, diligence, and unwavering patriotism. I reaffirm my commitment as a newly nominated senator to champion the interests of our sportsmen and women. Let us build a Kenya that celebrates its heroes, nurtures its talent, and stands tall on the global stage. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I conclude, allow me to express my sincere gratitude to His Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, and the United Democratic Alliance Party for granting me the honor to serve in this esteemed house. I also wish to greatly appreciate the teaching fraternity for according me a moment in the Kenyan spotlight that served as my stepping stone into the leadership spheres. Additionally, I wish to dedicate this appointment to the hardworking people of Bungoma County, whom I pledge to serve diligently as we endeavor to achieve the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, better model of governance. Now to the women of Kenya, this nomination affirms that your place is at the heart of decision-making and shaping the table. As Maya Angelou once said, you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. Your resilience in the face of challenges inspires me, and I pledge to champion your rightful position in leadership. To the youth of Kenya, my people in Bungoma lovingly refer to me as a Mama GNZ, a title I wear with pride, being a mother of young Kenyans. You will not be forgotten in my quest to fend for your empowerment. My service to persons living with disabilities, too, will be a sacred duty that I intend to uphold. Finally, to my distinguished colleague, senators, I join you to legislate with courage, debate with respect, and prioritize the interests of all Kenyans through meaningful consultation and robust issue-based collaboration in this House. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to make this statement. Senator Wakwabubi Consolata, MP, nominated Senator.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. The Honorable Catherine Muma.
Mr. Speaker, I have got the permission of the Honorable Senator Catherine Muma to read the statement on her behalf.
Senator Wakili.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
I need evidence in that regard.
There is a letter already delivered to the table there.
Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope I'm now formally allowed to do that I was allocated to do. Request for a statement on the evictions of tenants in Old Ngara Estate in Nairobi City County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on a matter of nationwide concern regarding the eviction of 6 households from Old Ngara Estate in Nairobi City County on 14th of May 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, on 14th May 2025, 6 households were forcibly evicted from the Old Ngara Estate on the grounds of rent arrears. However, the arrears in question fall within a period during which a rent waiver had been issued by the then Governor of Nairobi City County, Honorable Mike Sonko, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should address the following. 1. The legal basis and procedural compliance of the evictions and whether due process was followed, including the issuance of eviction notices and the existence of any court orders authorizing the evictions. 2. Names of the affected tenants and a verification of whether the claim of non-payment of rent is valid, considering that the arrears in question relates to a period covered by the COVID-19 rent waiver declared by the former governor. 3. Whether there are plans to compensate the affected households for losses suffered during the eviction. 4. The measures in place to protect tenants from unlawful evictions, particularly in middle-income estates where such incidents appear to be increasingly common. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the steps being taken to safeguard the rights of the affected families, including any legal mechanisms to reinstate them to their homes pending the conclusion of any legal or administrative process. This statement is signed by Senator Catherine Muma, MP, nominated Senator, read on her behalf by myself, Senator Wakili Sigei. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Hamida Kibwana. That statement is dropped. Senator Stewart Mazayo.
Asante Bwana Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, hii ni kuhusu hali ya duni ya miundo mbinu ya shule za msingi za umma katika kaunti ya Kilifi. Mstahiki Spika, nasimama kwa mujibu wa kanuni za kudumu kipengele cha 53 sheria ya kwanza inayosema ya kwamba kamati ya elimu ambayo inahusu hali duni ya miundo mbinu. Bwana Spika, tanisamehe kidogo kwa sababu miundo mbinu ni neno moja ambalo unalitafakari mara mbili, ya shule za msingi za umma katika kaunti ya Kilifi. Licha ya kuwepo kwa sera za kitaifa na rasilimali zinazolenga kuhakikisha mazingira bora ya wanafunzi kusoma, Bwana Spika, kamati hiyo izingatie yafuatayo. Ya kwanza, sababu zilizopelekea serikali kukosa kuupa kipaumbele ukarabati wa shule za msingi ambao ziko katika hali duni ya miundombinu katika kaunti ya Kilifi, licha ya hali hii kuripotiwa. Mheshimiwa Spika, swali la pili ni kwamba mbona kaunti ya Kilifi imeendelea kusalia nyuma katika maendeleo ya miundombinu ya shule za msingi za umma ikilinganishwa na kaunti zingine katika taifa la Kenya. Ya tatu, mikakati ambayo Wizara ya Elimu imeweka ili kuwavutia na kuwapa motisha walimu kufanya kazi katika maeneo yaliyotengwa kimaendeleo kama vile Magarini na Ganze, ambayo miundombinu ya shule ni duni zaidi. Vile vile swali la lingine ni kwamba ni hatua gani zilizochukuliwa na Wizara ya Elimu ili kuhakikisha kuwa wanafunzi wanaotoka vijijini na maeneo yaliyotengwa katika kaunti ya Kilifi wanapata fursa sawia ya elimu na mazingira bora kwa wanafunzi wenzao wanaosoma mijini. Mwisho, Bwana Spika, ni hatua gani serikali ya kitaifa kupitia kwa Wizara ya Elimu imechukua kuona ya kwamba shule zinazokumbwa na ukame zinapata chakula kwa watoto wa shule? Asante Bwana Spika.
Senator for Machakos County, Honorable Kavindu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. A statement on protection of roads infrastructure within Syokimau area, Machakos County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee of Roads, Transportation and Housing on the matters of countrywide concerns regarding the urgent intervention in protection of and preserving critical roads infrastructure within Syokimau from further degradation and unlawful interference. Mr. Speaker, sir, residents of Syokimau through the Syokimau Residents Association have raised concerns regarding overloaded and unauthorized trucks causing damage to estate roads meant for light vehicles traffic in their attempts to bypass Weybridge. The damage continues despite the SRA's represented efforts to enlarge the Kenya Urban Roads Authority, KURA, and other government stakeholders to promote responsible road use. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the reason for the breach of road barrier erected near Rim House, particularly given its sanction by the multi-agency team comprising the Kenya Urban Roads Authority, KURA, Kenya National Highways Authority, Kenya, and the County Government of Machakos. 2, the measures being implemented to manage traffic from quarry roads, which serves the sites of mining activities in the Katani area, along with the efforts to reduce noise, dust, and air pollution from the operations. 3, the reasons the authority, 3, the reasons for authorizing trucks exceeding 10 tons to access estate roads, given that their design and structural layering are intended for lighter vehicles, private cars, and service vans. 4, the measures in place to protect existing infrastructure approved by the relevant public agencies, including details on continued enforcement of the rule of law, public awareness, campaigns, policy, dialogue with stakeholders, including transporters and developers, and the implementation of zoning plans consisting with estate planning and road preservation. 5, the policy interventions and measures being implemented to ensure safe, orderly, and sustainable development within the Syokimau area, with particular focus on environmental protection and infrastructure, traffic, and security management. Senator Agnes Kavindu, MPs, Machakos County. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator from Busia, the Honorable Wamtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I have 3 statements and I request that I read all of them.
You may proceed.
Thank you. My first statement is on the Kenya shillings 14.5 billion currency printing tender by the Central Bank of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on a matter of national concern regarding the award of a Kenya shillings 14.5 billion tender by the Central Bank of Kenya, CBK, to the German firm GSEC Devolution for printing Kenya's new generation currency. Mr. Speaker, sir, the 2024 Auditor General's report flagged irregularities, including failure to appoint a special procurement committee, lack of oversight by the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, PPRA, and absence of supplier vetting or market assessment. While CBK cited approvals from the National Security Council and other agencies, these explanations were found unconvincing, given that the CBK is not a national security organ under Article 239 of the Constitution. Notably, in 2005, an open tender for currency printing saved costs when it was awarded competitively to the LaRue over GSEC and Deviant, yet in this case, CBK single-sourced the latter at a higher cost. In the statement, the committee should address the following. whether CBK had approval from the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, for classified procurement of currency printing, and whether this specific procurement was part of an approved classified list under Section 90 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act, PPADA, of 2015. 2, whether CBK complied with Regulation 84 of the Public Procurement Regulations 2020, including submission of the justification of the use of classified procurement, itemized lists and estimated costs, and selected procurement methods, and whether a special procurement committee was duly appointed. Whether CBK's accounting officer submitted the required procurement report to the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, and the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority as mandated under Regulation 84(11), and whether the selection criteria for the supplier was documented and justified. 4, whether the procurement method used violated Section 90(8) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act by improperly classifying the tender and by passing open competition without valid grounds of urgency or national security. 5, analysis of the 2005 and the 2025 currency printing tenders in terms of value for money, transparency, and competitiveness, including a breakdown of the 2025 contract value and how it compares to past pricing. 6, appropriate actions to ensure accountability, prevent future misuse of classified procurement procedures, and safeguard the integrity of Kenya's procurement framework, especially where large public resources are involved. Senator Andrew Omtata, MP, Senator from Busia. The second statement is on the delayed upgrading to payment standard and performance-based maintenance of the 3-kilometer Benga Koboit Papa Primary School Road in Teso Central Sub-County, Busia County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53, Clause 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the upgrading of the 3-kilometer Benga Akobwait Papa Primary School Road in Teso Central Sub-County, Busia County. This road forms part of the larger 22-kilometer Mungati, Benga, Akobwait, Kwangamor, Kotur, Kapina, Kocholia corridor, classified as County Road F90291. The works were to include upgrading to bitumen standard, a 10-meter reinforced concrete bridge, installation of road furniture, and performance-based road maintenance (PBRM) elements. Despite the Kenya shillings 150 million allocation by the Kenya Roads Board, KERA awarded the contract to Messrs. Swami Investments Limited for Kenya shillings 108.87 million. The project was due for completion in June 2023, but has stalled, with the contractor repeatedly abandoning the site and failing to deliver key components. A demolished bridge remains unreplaced, and a temporary wooden structure has collapsed several times, causing injuries and death. Completed sections are dangerously narrow, with environmental degradation from unclaimed barrow pits. Suppliers remain unpaid, and serious irregularities, including a Kenya shillings 41 million gap between allocation and contract sum, have been reported. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the procurement process and whether due diligence was followed in the appointment and capacity evaluation of the contractor, including the validity of the performance guarantees. 2, the status and intended use of the unaccounted balance of Kenya shillings 41,128,799 shillings and 60 cents in relation to the budgeted allocation and the contract sum. 3, whether there has been value for money in the works completed thus far, considering the delays, poor quality, and safety concerns. 4, whether all local suppliers have been compensated and, where applicable, the payment of accrued interest due to delayed settlement. 5, completion plan, including a firm timeline for delivery of the pending works to ensure the community has a functional and safe road. 6, measures against all individuals or institutions whose negligence or misconduct has compromised the project, and appropriate compensation for the persons injured or killed due to the current unsafe state of the road. Senator Andrew Mtata MP, Senator from Busia County.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 56.
The last statement, I had 3.
Oh, you still have one more?
I have one more.
You may proceed, Honorable Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The third statement is on the deplorable state of infrastructure, drainage, and sanitation in Nairobi City County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53, Clause 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation, and Housing on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the deplorable state of infrastructure, drainage, and sanitation in the city of Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, sir, Nairobi as the administrative, political, and economic center of Kenya should reflect our national dignity and progress. Unfortunately, the current state of roads, stormwater drainage, waste disposal, and sanitation paint a grim picture of neglect and mismanagement. The city suffers from poor waste collection, blocked drains, frequent flooding, and open sewers, compromising public health, disrupting businesses, and damaging Kenya's image. This alarming situation has exposed residents, school-going children, and city visitors to daily risks, with increasing accidents, property losses, and health concerns. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the current conditions of Nairobi's sanitation, drainage, and sewage systems, including the reasons for their persistent failure, especially during the rainy season. The total amount allocated and spent from the financial year 2019-2020 to date on drainage works, waste management, and road maintenance in Nairobi's Central Business District and its environs. The list of contractors and companies engaged in these works, including how they were procured and how much each was paid. The reasons for delayed or unresponsive repairs of open manholes, blocked drains, and potholes in areas of high pedestrian and vehicular traffic. 5, the emergency and long-term measures being implemented by Nairobi City County and the Ministry of Roads and Transport to resolve the recurring problems of urban flooding, sewage overflows, and deteriorating road networks. Senator Andrew Omtata MP, Senator from Busia. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 56-1B, the Chairperson, Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Statement relating to the activities of the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries pursuant to Standing Order 56-1B for the report period 1st April to 19th September 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56(1)B of the Senate Standing Orders to make a statement relating to the activities of the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries from 1st April to 19 September 2025. During the period under review, the committee held a total of 22 sittings during which it considered 4 bills and 9 statements. In the reporting period, the committee invited the governor of Nyandarua County to deliberate on the research by Egerton University regarding the use of unsafe pesticides in potato farming in Nyandarua County. The committee later met with the researchers who appraised the committee on the status of the research. The committee also invited the governor of Trans Nzoia County and deliberated on the procurement and distribution of maize seeds in the county. The committee is still pursuing the matter viciously. The committee conducted oversight visits as follows. Oversight visit to Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization, KALRO in Naivasha, Nakuru County, and was appraised on the operations facing KALRO and opportunities for engagement with counties. B. Inspection visits to National Cereals and Produce Board, Eldoret Depot in Uasin Gishu County, and the Kenya Seed Company Limited in Kitale, Trans Nzoia County. The visits sought to access grain capacity, strategic food reserve management. Bills. Honorable Speaker, during the period under review, the committee considered the following 4 bills. The Coffee Bill 2023, Senate Bills number 10 of 2023. The bill was processed in the Senate and is currently on Mediation Committee. The Food and Feed Safety Control Coordination Bill 2023, National Assembly Bills number 21 of 2023. The bill was processed in the Senate and is currently under Mediation Committee. The Livestock Protection and Sustainability Bill 2024, Senate Bill number 32 of 2024. The committee conducted public participation and received submissions from the Council of Governors and the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. The committee will undertake stakeholder engagement in livestock rearing counties of Samburu, Kajiado, Garissa, and Taita Taveta. The Seed and Plant Varieties Bill 2025, Senate Bill number 4 of 2025. The committee is conducting public participation and will undertake targeted stakeholder engagements with the Seed Trade Association of Kenya, the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, and the Technical Committee on Agriculture of the Council of Governors. Statements. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, 9 statements were sought from the committee, of which 1 was concluded and 3 are awaiting responses from the stakeholders. The committee is processing the remaining statements and has shared responses received with the senators who sought the statement. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the next quarter, the committee will undertake an inspection visit to Turkana County on irrigation scheme projects and also undertake inspection visit to NCPP depots across the country on the status of availability of seeds and fertilizer. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Senator Wafula Wakoli, MP, Chairperson, Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. Thank you.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want back to submit the activities of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 561B to make a statement of the activities of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations for the period commencing April to July 2025. Honorable Speaker, during the reporting period, the committee has carried out various activities pertaining to this mandate. In summary, the committee considered the following 2 bills, which is concluded and tabled in the respective reports this House. 1, the Office of the Attorney General Amendment Bill 2024, Senate Bill number 47 of 2024. 2, the County Government Laws Amendment Bill 2024, Senate Bill number 52 of 2024. B, the committee considered and concluded 2 petitions before it and tabled the respective reports in this House. 1 petition on branding of public projects with images of governors and MCAs and branding of the county vehicles. 2 petition on amending the County Government Act 2012 Cap 265 regarding the mandate of county governors, assigning the portfolio of county executive committee members to deputy governors. C, the committee has processed 9 statements that were sought from the committee. Of the 9, the committee has considered and concluded 5, leaving 4 statements pending. B, in line with this mandate, the committee considered the application of a confinement of city status on Thika municipality. The committee has considered the reports of the ad hoc committee on the application for confinement of city status to Thika municipality and the report of the County Assembly Committee on County Planning and Urbanization. The committee has also met with various stakeholders to debate on the application and is still in the process of considering, which we hopefully will consider by the next 2 weeks. Honourable Speaker, the committee in future plans to conduct an inquiry into the national government parastatals that are still performing the devolved functions, to conduct visits to various counties to inspect the development projects being considered, to implement and the stalled projects by the county government and assess the general state of devolution in the counties. Lastly, I want to thank the members and the committee for the good work they have done. Thank you so much, and I beg to table. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Chairperson, Standing Committee on Education.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 56(1)B to make a statement relating to the activities of the Standing Committee on Education for the second quarter of the 4th session, covering the period 1st April to 19th September 2025. During the period under review, the committee held 41 sittings, during which various legislative business was considered. The committee also undertook 5 county oversight and networking engagements in the following counties: Mombasa, Kwale, Kilifi, Kitui, and Makueni counties, to acquaint themselves on the status of the early childhood development education and the vocational education training. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the reporting period, the committee held a meeting with the Council of Governors to deliberate on the final policy on the model school feeding for county governments. The matter of school feeding for ECD learners is very crucial to ensure increased enrollment and retention of learners, especially those from food-scarce counties. During the reporting period, Mr. Speaker, the committee considered an inquiry into the implementation status of the early childhood development education and the vocational training education policies in particular. Subsequently, the committee met with 21 governors, namely from Tana River, Narok, Mombasa, Machakos, Kericho, Kwale, Kilifi, Uasin Gishu, Kitui, Nakuru, Nyamira, Nandi, Makueni, Garissa, Kisii, Turkana, Laikipia, Lamu, Migori, Nyandarua, and Murang'a counties to consider and inquire on the same. The committee observed a trend where county governments are giving bursaries and scholarships for basic and higher education without giving due attention to the devolved functions, especially those in the education sector, which are the ECDE and the vocational training centers. The committee recommended that county governments should only utilize the funds available to them to undertake the devolved functions that are listed in Part 2 of the 4th schedule, and therefore, if bursaries or scholarships are to be issued by the county governments, it should be done in accordance with Article 187 on the transfer of functions and powers between the levels of governments, where there is an agreement to transfer the function and where resources for issuance of bursaries are provided for by the national government. That's the function should be followed by the funding. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, a total of 14 statements were sought from the committee. The committee considered and concluded 2 statements. The committee has a number of pending statements from the Ministry of Education, and the committee is scheduled to engage the ministry on the matter of delays in submitting responses to statements. The committee held a consultative meeting with the TSC and deliberated on the recruitment and transfer policy of teachers in the county and registration and recruitment of ECD teachers in the counties. The 12 statements which are linked to the Ministry.
Very well, Senator Lekina.
Yeah.
I was inquiring as to the amount of time that is still available to you.
Yes.
And of course, I'm told we've got 4 minutes to rise.
Okay.
I will, when the time comes, exercise the provisions of Standing Order 34 to give you an additional 15 minutes.
Fantastic.
I extend the sitting of the House for 15 minutes from 6:30.
4 minutes, okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You can yield to Senator Cherargei a few minutes so that you close as you reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is important for me to clarify to the Plant Breeders Association of Kenya, who it's important that I speak to, because they are stakeholders. And it is imperative that we engage in a factual discussion, not a discussion which is skewed in a particular direction. I have indicated clearly that it is not only the DUS system. Let us now introduce this DNA fingerprinting. Mr. Speaker, this stakeholder, PBAK, technical arguments, I consider them completely outdated. There are multiple scientific studies that demonstrate that laboratory seed quality test correlates well with field performance. So I want to encourage them to compare apples to apples, to look at countries like India. When we went to India, courtesy of KEFIS, we visited laboratories that were testing seeds varieties. And India recognized that it is imperative that they have a local system that will support their economy, not only to be boiled down by foreign policies that cripples their productivity level. Mr. Speaker, it is also important that I clarify to PBOK on the importance of this new variety, new registration system when it comes to small-scale farmers. In fact, contrary to their submissions, this standard-based registration system that we are now proposing will reduce the cost to small-scale farmers. It will make it easier. I have demonstrated to you the process with KEFIS. 4 to 5 years, $50,000. Yet what I'm proposing is only 9 months maximum. Any small company in Kenya, we are talking about innovation. There are no longer jobs in Kenya. You can no longer get a job. But you can go to school, become a scientist, and decide that I'm going to start a seed company. When you start a seed company, if we stick to the argument, outdated argument being propagated by KEFIS, including sponsoring news article, editorial, that's something which is not factual.
then there's no way we are going to end unemployment in this country. Because then we will just be left to become slaves of international bodies. The standards that I'm proposing, Mr. Speaker, are very, very high standards. UPOV standards are the highest standards in the world. And why do I say they are the highest standard compared to OECD? Is because Kenya, our country Kenya, is a member of UPOV, so they contribute. Senator Murgor, do you know what Kenya does when it goes to OECD? They literally just say, oh, in Kenya, this is our situation. I was there, I sat down in a meeting. This is our situation. But the difference, and that is what KEFIS is telling you, let's go this direction. The difference with the UPOV testing system is that Kenya is a bona fide member. They will say, no, we do not want this, and they will be listened to. It is, if you want to compare OECD, you can compare with the G7 countries. You know, OECD is made up of 38 countries. G7 country is made up of 7 countries. Or you have the permanent members of the United Nations. When we go there, we just talk, but ultimately is what the permanent members of the United Nations will say, will determine which direction we'll go as a country. When will we as a country look back and say enough? I am tired, Mr. Speaker, as I end, of my mother who grows beans, harvesting 700 kilos. Yet my relatives in Tanzania are harvesting 1,700 kilos per hectare. And this is because of the old bureaucratic, bottleneck, outdated policies which are being propagated by KEFIS. I'm willing to engage KEFIS at any given time on a fact-based, factual, on what we're going to do to improve this economy. Mr. Speaker, the 60-day registration is very conservative. If you compare with countries like Australia, there are certain crops that only takes a very 2 to 6 weeks. That is not 60 days. So 60 days, I'm saying, that's 2 months. 2 to 6 weeks is a month and a half. So I'm saying is that with KEBS, I have not seen KEFIS written in this water, but I've seen KEBS written here. I trust KEBS. Kenyans trust KEBS. So let us now shift the burden to the producers, to the young Kenyans from Baringo County, from the young Kenyans from Elgeyo Marakwet, from Nandi County, who says, I'm going to produce this seed to contribute to the GDP. I've demonstrated clearly, Mr. Speaker, that with the reduced cost, the amount of GDP growth in the agricultural sector in this country will be triple. I've given you statistics of how much we are currently paying for our students in primary and secondary school. $1.67 billion. The $1.67 billion which we are paying, that one will be easily raised by this bill. This bill will be the best thing that can happen to this country. It will help farmers compete internationally. You know, in the Maasai community, when a child is born, the mother, when the umbilical cord is cut, the mother tells you, "Bongal dauli no, my bongal alai. Hold your heart, I hold my heart." My dear colleagues, it's about time that we also hold our economy dear to us and support local innovation so that we can grow our economy. It is about time that we treat foreign bodies that comes in to try and control our seed industry as second class to our own innovations. As I sit, Mr. Speaker, let me reiterate, it is not, this bill does not seek to put Kenya at a disadvantage. It seeks to make Kenya be recognized for their innovation, for their ability to grow. I can assure you that a company like Western Seed. I think it's called Western Seed. Let me check. This company that decided that they were tired of the bureaucracy at KEBS. It's called Western Seed Company Limited, a company which was based in Kitale. They got tired of the bureaucracy and the corruption at KEBS, at KEFIS, and decided we're moving to Zambia, where they are now thriving. I want this company to come back to Kenya and help innovation. I want to appreciate companies like Pure Seeds East Africa Limited for fully supporting this. I want to appreciate Kenchik for supporting this with their submissions. I want to appreciate companies like Bio. And you know, Mr. Speaker, as I end, Bio really assisted me. Because as a dairy farmer, the only thing I knew on what to do is to use my local knowledge, because I didn't study agriculture, use YouTube. But when I was now trying to get my milk in the market, Bio walked me through lab tests on the quality assurance, not field trials, lab tests. And they see the importance of this bill in terms of setting high standards for this country. So this bill, Mr. Speaker, is a bill that I believe will revolutionize the seed industry in this country. It will allow us to compete with our neighbors, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Uganda, who are dancing between 1.3 metric tons per hectare to 1.6 metric tons per hectare, to 1.7 metric tons per hectare. In fact, Mr. Speaker, nothing stops us from jumping up to 2.2 metric tons per hectare, making sure that we improve on our economy. Our people depend on their yield. It is sad, Mr. Speaker. Narok farmers are moving away from wheat. They're moving away from wheat. Because how do you, and you do the math, Mr. Speaker, you have 1 acre of land, you rent that acre, you lease that 1 acre of land for 7,000 shillings. You plow it for 3,000 shillings. That is 10,000 shillings. Then after you've done that, you harrow it for 2,000 shillings. That is 12,000. You do a second harrow for 2,000 shillings. That is 14,000 shillings. Then you now buy these substance seeds, which have been forced because of bureaucracy of KEFIS. You buy a bag at 5,000 shillings, even if you use that one bag in 1 acre. By the time you're done with spraying, it is costing you 25 to 30,000 shillings an acre. Then you harvest. You get 5 bags. 5 bags an acre. And then you go into the market, you are told it is 5,000 shillings per acre, per bag. So do the math. 5,000 times 5 is 25,000. You might as well have just gone and take care of your cows. Instead of you are, toying the soil, working out every day for you to come and either break even or get at a loss. In fact, you will go at a loss because when you are harvesting, the combined harvester, which most of them come from Wasingishu and Kitale, will charge you 2,000 shillings an acre. Essentially, you will just be saying, I'd rather even just let my cows go and graze in this wheat. Because by the time you're harvesting, it is 30,000 shillings. But your harvest, it's 25,000 shillings, losing 5,000 shillings. So Kenyans, this bill gives you an opportunity for you to take control of your crops, gives you an opportunity for you to compete internationally. KEFIS, I have a lot of respect for you. Handle the international market. Maintain the international market. If we can improve and continue producing more sunflower seeds to be sent across the world, because do your math, do your research. I've taken my time to do my research, and I know what crops we export. And out of the crops that I'm talking about here, the only crops, and I'm not mentioning those crops here, those crops I'll leave it to KEFIS. It is only sunflower that we can say we export as a country. Everything else we import. I am tired of being a consumer. I want to be a producer. And this bill gives Kenyans an opportunity. So I want to ask Kenyans to support this bill. When we call for public participation, let us argue based on facts so that we can be able to improve our economy. And this is when we will get these African brains, these Kenyan brains, scientists who are currently living in fear abroad, can come back here, commit themselves, start local companies, produce their seeds, and make sure that we have billionaires and millionaires, and we feed this nation. DNA fingerprinting is the way to go. The standard-based registration system managed by KEBS is the way to go. And we will be an innovative nation. So, Mr. Speaker, before I reply, I think I have 5 minutes, so I'll give Senator Cherargei 4 minutes, and then the last 1 minute to just say the word I reply. Thank you, Mr.
Senator Cherargei, keep in mind the fact that
yes,
you've got under 4 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, we are under your mercy and your indulgence, so the Senator should not give direction. Mr. Speaker.
Blame the mover of the bill.
Okay.
I gave him 15 minutes.
Okay. Speaker, I just want, before I make 2 comments, is to pass my deepest condolences to you and the people of Jebunya in Jebalungu, Bomet County, for untimely demise of Emmanuel Kimutai, who unfortunately, allegedly was killed by the father. I hope you as a lawyer will ensure justice is done to the mother and that family, Mr. Speaker, and we arrest issues of domestic violence where we can. Secondly and finally, I want to support Senator Ledama, and I wish I was here early, but thank you for that indulgence. Us as maize farmers, Mr. Speaker, we are suffering. As we talk today, the maize prices seedlings is very expensive by Kenya seed, courtesy of this inefficiency of KEFIS. Mr. Speaker, Senator Ledama, are you aware we cannot access seedlings of coffee in Nandi and across the country? We can access seedlings of beans, of seedlings of many things as farmers, where I come from, Mr. Speaker, in the Rift, because of only the one thing, inefficiency of KEFIS. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, we are planting katumani, a crossbreed of seeds that we breed. And I want to tell Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, we are forced because of this inefficiency, bottlenecks that the KEFIS have introduced, Mr. Speaker, we are planting katumani maize in either South Rift and in North Rift that is encouraging disease-resistant maize, Mr. Speaker. And you and me grew up in the village. You have to, Senator Ledama, you have to pick the bigger maize, hang it in the kitchen for it to dry, and then you use katumani. I know Senator Wabwabi or Wakubobi comes from plants maize. You have to hang, so that when time comes, you go to the shamba. Senator Ledama, we must confront KEFIS. Let us give the standardization and approval to Kenya Bureau of Statistics. Mr. Speaker, I was shocked when KEFIS tried to mislead Kenyans and farmers that what Senator Ledama wants to do is to undermine the integrity of seed approval process. It is far from the truth, Mr. Speaker. We want an efficiency. This is the change, Mr. Speaker, with the climate resistant. With the challenges of climate, Mr. Speaker, we must agree that we need seeds that will give us more yield, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as we talk, we are approaching 60 million Kenyans. The issue of food security is at the core. The only way we must be innovative, we must come with legislation that are progressive to ensure my farmers of maize, my farmers of tea, my farmers of coffee, Mr. Speaker, and other farmers, including even potatoes and many others, including seedlings, Mr. Speaker, we must agree, let us amend this law for the sake of that ordinary farmer who toils from morning to evening under sun, scorching sun, Mr. Speaker. I stand with this progressive law, Mr. Speaker. I would have said much, but because of the interest of time, and I think this bill should pass very fast with a supersonic speed so that our farmers can benefit. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support this bill. I thank you.
So, Mr. Speaker, with the kind words from the distinguished senator, let me also, before I say I reply, express my condolences to the family of the departed, Derek Mutai? Emmanuel Kimtai of Chebunyo. May the good Lord grant your family the serenity to accept the things that they cannot change. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the support on this bill, and I reply.
Senator Lekina, could you also make the request for deferment of the putting of the question? Yep. 63.
So, Mr. Speaker, because we don't have numbers, I want to request that the putting of the question be deferred and to a later date, and that is on Standing Order 66. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Shall we rise? Honorable Senators, the putting of the question to that particular bill is hereby deferred pursuant to Standing Order 66.3 to a later date. And now, Honorable Senators, adjournment on late interruption of business under Standing Order 34.2a. Honorable Senators, it's now 6:45 p.m. and having concluded the business for which I extended the hours of sitting pursuant to Standing Order 34.2a, the Senate stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 24th of September, 2025 at 9:30 a.m.